So, so just to start with generally, Abu Dhabi has a 7% by 2020 target. Just guessing, because of course nobody knows what it will eventually be. What percentage do you think? What percentage of that 7% do you think will be CSP, will be solar PV, or will be wind power?
Yes.
It's a hard
hard
question
to answer, yeah, because
nobody knows.
Because the market is dynamic. This is the main reason. I mean, and as my colleagues already mentioned, 5 years before, CSP was cheaper than PV, so all the people thought that CSP will dominate the market.
Yeah.
But now PV is cheaper. In 5 years more, I don't know what technology will be cheaper. There's a lot of works going on. I mean, in terms, first of all, in technology, like Western people working a lot on how to make the technologies more efficient. We talk also about like Asia, Chinese, Indian are also working on cutting the manufacturing cost and all this stuff, labor cost. So it is a combination of those two things plus the investors. I mean, they will be interested in this technology or that bank. So it's a really complicated question.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer it. To be honest with you.
I'm not asking. Of course, you don't know the answer. I know,
yeah.
and who knows? But since you're such an insider in the industry, just seeing if you, just give us your best guess. If you had to make a guess.
Are you referring to UAE?
You only
UAE, yeah.
only it's the 7%.
It's Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
Abu Dhabi. So. I don't know. I would guess. 60 will be PV maybe, you know. The rest will be between. I mean, CSP will be more than wind, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. As I told you, it's not easy to answer.
So similar. Your colleague said similar. Was guessing about 50 to 60 for PV and CSP, and not much wind because you don't have great wind.
We don't have a lot of wind, but yeah, maybe. I mean, as I told you, the technology has been improved for wind energy. Having new turbines with longer blades and such stuff, we might have a potential here, I would say.
Could be up 10-20% of your renewable energy. Or
I don't think we'll reach
not that
10,
much.
10, maybe,
not that much. Even less. So it's about.
Yeah, because they are limited in the technology and the cost and the shoreline. I mean, they will be mainly in shoreline, but you know, shorelines are you have other competitors, resorts, hotels. It's not easy to take the shoreline.
Yeah. And so you studied, you got a master's in Germany for what?
Energy engineering in general, but my dissertation and my research work was focusing on concentrated solar power.
Okay, cool. And what did you do before that? Were you?
Before that, actually, I was a mechanical engineering graduate from UAE University.
Okay.
I also worked for around 2 years in an aluminium smelter in Dubai as a mechanical engineer. Yeah, then I decided to move to.
And what made you decide to make that sort of?
Yeah, first of all, I was always excited about research and development and new technologies. I would say, even when I was in Dubai, I was coming always with the proposals for my team leader. With okay, we can prove here, we can cut costs here, we can cut. People are not so interested in the business, I would say, or in the industry because they want something proved and will secure, let's say, revenue for them tomorrow. Which is not the case when you talk about research and development, especially when you talk about new technologies. Then I had a call actually from my professor who taught me when I was in UAE University. I think he was seconded from the university to work with Masdar, and he told me about the new idea of Masdar, the vision, mission of Masdar, and I was excited. This is where I want to work. This is where I want to spend my time. Where I want to build myself as well. So I joined what they called it at that time Masdar Research and Work before establishing Masdar Institute. And so my first task was to work on a CSP combined cycle power plant in Germany. It was a research research project in a cooperation with the German Aerospace Center. And that's why I moved to Germany. While being there also I started my graduate studies in energy engineering. And since almost 1 year I'm back here. to apply what I have learned to contribute to this unique plant here in Abu Dhabi.
And if I heard correctly earlier, you're getting a PhD right now.
So I started working now on my proposal with the professor here at Masdar Institute on the dynamic simulation of the plant, optimizing the plant based on the dynamic simulations, and also on what we call forward control. It's like you now know that in 5 minutes you will have cloud, how you can act now before the cloud arrives. So
this is a very exciting.
This is very exciting, new things, and very important for such plants.
Yes.
You know, our plant is, as I told you, unique. So CSP plants not like conventional power plant. In conventional power plant, when you want electricity, you just pay gas. Gas at your hand. Here, the sun is not at your hand. The clouds, dust, the wind is not at your hand. So it's a dynamic plant.
And this is, this dynamic planning is important for all types of renewable energy. Of course, it's different application depending on the technology.
Exactly.
So would the type of forward control would it be relevant at all to CS?
To
PV also, or just CSP?
And the PV, you don't control the plant. You just install your PV cells. They got the electricity. You produce electricity. But here you have equipment. You have turbine. You have generators, and
so
you have flow rates. This is what you have to control mainly. Your flow rate for the oil or for the steam. And this is why you have a lot of control here in such a plant. So this plant is not different than any conventional power plant. The only, let's say, different is first of all it's clean, there's emission and all those aspects, but you are dealing with the dynamic inputs, not the static inputs.
Yeah. So, but it's not. There's a lot of work to be done, a lot of research to be done in general with dealing with dynamic planning for. Example for solar PV electricity that's being sent to the grid, how to plan around that. So, but this is more on the supply side, the control planning.
Yes.
Cool. Sounds very exciting. I could probably listen to you talk about it all day. But let's see what it. So this is going to be a similar question to the first one. That's going to be hard, but and I asked it earlier, but didn't get a real clear answer. So as we've seen, CSP was more competitive, and now PV is more competitive. Depending on how things change, CSP could be more competitive again in a year or something. What do you think globally, as far where do you think CSP will go? Do you think it could end up being a huge player in the global energy market, or do you think it'll remain a niche market?
I think it could be great player on the market, especially if researchers, technology developers focus on the storage. As my colleague mentioned, storage is the key point. You cannot store electricity coming from PV, or technically you can, but when you talk about commercial scale, you cannot install a lot of batteries, which will die after 7 years, I would say, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk now about thermal storage, it has been proved now in a lot of plants, especially in Spain.
Right.
There is a lot of things that can be done for the storage. And when you talk first of all about how you, for example, changing the medium of the storage material, storage medium. Going to other aspects like latent heat, sensible heat, solid storage. There is a lot of research can be done. So this is a key point. Other key points also how to operate such a plant. As I told you, like a dynamic act based on the dynamic input. This is also something we can do. Cutting the cost in the cleaning. This is another very, very interesting subject. In PV now they have what we call dry cleaning methods. In CSP we still don't have this because we have mirrors and they need water to be clean. So if we can come to dry cleaning method, then this is something we are looking at as Sham. This is also will cost a lot of costs here in such a plant.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is mainly scaling up the plants. Also another let's say way for reducing the cost. Instead of building 50, go for 100, instead of 100, 200.
And if I'm correct, this is the first 100 megawatt.
So far, this is the first.
There are other CSP plants that are larger, like 200, 250, but they're they're composed of 50 megawatt plants, like in Spain.
But they will now, I mean, there will be in future also bigger
There
plants,
will-
as I told you, because scaling the plant is a way to cut the cost.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the storage is very interesting. I mean, we have, aside from reporting on news and talking to professionals and experts, we have a great group of commenters who, come in with their own comments and their own knowledge. And of course, you have different people who are extremely passionate about different technologies. You have people extremely passionate about wind or solar PV
Sure.
or storage using salts or storage using new form of batteries. So it's very, everybody's got their own idea of what the future will be. So it's just interesting to get your insider input. Of course, you're working on CSP, but overall, what technologies are you really excited about just in general, where they are and where they're going? Solar PV and
Considering solar power.
CSP.
Yes,
that's
I believe in CSP,
that's what you
exactly. This is what I'm excited about. This is what I spend all my time thinking about how to improve on that stuff. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good.
And mainly because of the dispatchability. I mean,
right.
I mean, when you talk about renewable energy, we should also come with the products which I'm not talking about replacing, let us say, the conventional power plant or the fossil-based power plant, but something also competitive. And dispatchability, I think the approach. I mean, we need plants which can work 24 hours, which can give you the electricity when you need. And I see a very, very high potential with CSP for doing so.
Sounds good. Do you have any other projects or plans coming up? You have a lot on your plate already, but do you have any other projects or plans, or do you know if Masdar has any other big projects or plans that you could discuss?
The way Masdar, let us say, looking at the project is the phases approach. So they always finish phase by phase.
Okay.
This is very important because from this phase you will have a lot of lessons, you will have also learn from your mistakes, from your good things you have done. So the lessons will be learned from Shams, I'm sure will be applied for other plans will be done. If there is anything announced, for example, if there is Shams 2, there's nothing until now announced, but I'm sure colleagues at Masdar is working and we will not wait. They are working on building some concepts for future plans, but they are still not projects. They didn't reach let us say the project phase.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you say that they pay so much attention to what's happening in each phase, good strong focus, and then take the lessons from that to make their next decisions.
I think this is a very good approach.
Sounds great.
You don't need to do 5 plans at the same time and do the same mistakes in the same plans.
Yeah, for sure.
It will be really witty.
And so you're from this region?
Not from the western region, from Abu Dhabi, but I'm from Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have other areas of the world that you've studied much as far as renewable energy and
I studied conventional power plants, of course. I mean, I studied energy engineering, and when we studied energy engineering, we looked at the conventional power plants and nuclear power plants in general, let us say, and then I focused on the concentrated solar power plants. Yeah, so I have, let us say, a power station background. Yeah.
Do you have, what's your vision, I mean, what do you think as far as CSP, where it's going to be developed the most? Of course, the US has a lot going on in the west and southwest, and Spain has a lot, and China's got a lot. What do you think will be the main global regions for CSP development? And
I mean, according to my readings, I would say the United States now have the potential to be the huge market for CSP. South Africa is also working at that. Of course, Middle East is also a potential. I mean, you have now UAE already started. Saudi people are interested. People in other Gulf countries are already also interested. Morocco, Algeria. When we talk about North Africa, they have already started. I mean, they have projects now under construction, I would say, and there's also potential in Australia.
So, and would you, obviously Masdar is really an interesting place to be, and to me it's like it's creating a sort of Silicon Valley for clean energy, which is pretty amazing because, I mean, Silicon Valley developed with huge background of, university progress and business progress, but it's almost like Masdar is trying to create a Silicon Valley from scratch,
Yeah.
and it's an amazing vision, but it also could do wonders to transform the energy sector. So I can't imagine. I can imagine it must be a very nice place to be working. Do you have
To live at
and
well,
living?
I mean, you know, at Masdar City. Sometimes when I want to take my kids or my wife out, we go to Masdar City.
Yeah. So
the kids like to go with this PRT, personal rapid transporter, without any driver. They like
it's
it.
almost like Disney World.
Exactly, and having. I mean, you can go. You can have a coffee. You can have a sushi. You can go for grocery in a bioproduct shop. So I really like to be there most of my time. I mean,
so do you think you'll stay with Masdar for most of your career or all of your career? Or?
Yes, I think so. I'm really happy here with what I'm doing, and it's not like just happy. I see that I'm progressing and Masdar progressing, and this is what I need. And I always have this need for
totally understand
learning to progress, to do something for the UAE and also for the globe.
Yeah, I totally understand. And I think the last question here: did you have any critics of this project? Any big critics politically or in the media or in the energy sector before it got to this stage?
I didn't get you. What do you mean with this?
People criticizing this idea of this CSP power plant.
Sure, I mean, there's a lot of criticism. That's of course. I mean, sometimes you hear this in the media, you hear somewhere from other media. For us, we know our targets, we know our mission. I mean, we hear also the criticism. I mean, sometimes maybe they have points, so we review it and try to actually not try. We always make ourselves better and learn from what others are saying. I mean, the criticism is not always bad.
And
it's also give you sometimes it's useful. A lot of times it's useful. You hear, you prove yourself, and as long as you have your targets, you have your mission as well, you have your mission, so you proceed forward.
And initially, were there any big critics to this idea that might have stopped it from happening, that had to be overcome, or was this from the beginning? After you looked at the options, this was clearly decided to be a great option to pursue, and there weren't any big people who you had to.
No, and I think there will never something will stop this project. This project is not just good for the UAE; it's good for everyone. I mean, the president of Iceland was here, and he really appreciated what we are doing. During the summit, I saw a lot of VIP people, and they are appreciating what we are doing.
I'm sure.
I mean, we are investing in a technology. We are investing in power plants, let's say, and a lot of stuff which is good for the public, let's say, for all people in the globe. We are adding a lot of environmental benefits, a lot of commercial benefits, and also social benefits.
Yeah.
And this is what sustainability about, right?
And you're also investing a ton into the early stage of this technology. So I'm sure people from all over the world are coming here to learn from you and see what.
But and more than that, there's a lot of knowledge will be transferred for the people of the UAE.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, the most important thing.
Yeah, it's
I'm really proud now that, for example, I have visitors. I talk about CSP here in UAE, about this new technology, about renewable energy and those stuff. I'm really proud to do this, and I think in the coming years, this technology from this plant, other plants, and other projects will be transferred for the local people of the UAE.
It's great for the local economy.
Exactly, and it will be great for the economy, and also in the future, I'm sure we'll be exporters, and not only technology importers, but we'll start to be technology exporters.
Exactly, yeah.
And this is what it's all about.
Yeah, sounds great. One just last technical question. So the mirrors, do they start at? I mean, you start collecting the energy at sunrise until sunset, or is there some point when there's enough energy coming that you start?
You start with the sunrise.
Right at sunrise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't produce electricity.
Okay.
You don't produce steam.
It's just
you heat up your system until you reach the temperature which is enough for producing the steam. Then you move the plant from the solar field or the oil from the solar field to the steam generator. Then you do the same. You start producing the steam until you reach a part where this steam can go to the steam turbine. You introduce it to the booster, create the temperature and the stock point. So you work in phases.
Interesting.
Exactly. You start up system by system, warming up until you reach the point where you can do your operation. Okay.
So, and it's all automated?
Or automated, exactly.
And,
so all the system is connected to what we call the distributed control system, DCS, and the operator, the control room operator can start the system from there. Excellent. Of course, we have also like field operators, they go around the different system and make sure everything is working.
Oh, yeah.
We have for all our systems like a main control from the control room, but we also have local control for each system. So we can control all the systems either locally or from the control room.
Very interesting. I could really. I know we don't have time, so I won't ask about all day. But of course, it's going to change from day to day. But when does the power plant generally, say, in the middle of summer or in the middle of winter, when does it start producing electricity to send to the grid?
At which hour you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't. I mean, it's electricity right now, but I would say after sunrise, about between 1.5 to 2 hours. Yeah.
Oh, so just that long? Okay,
exactly.
So that's
you need like 2 hours just to heat up your system.
Cool. So about 1.5 to 2 hours after sunrise.
Exactly. And you have to also shut it down before sunset.
Producing the electricity.
Yeah, you don't want like suddenly you don't have sun, your system will become cold very suddenly. You have also to take this in account in consideration and shut down your system or you defocus your partially defocus your solar field when you approach the sunset.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
I wish I could interview you for 2 weeks.